And now, Joe Bob's last call, and it lives again on TNT.
Joe Bob Briggs again, and I'll be honest with you, I got a little choked up when John Ryan cries there at the end of the movie. That baby is seriously sympathetic, don't you think? Crying and rubbing its eyes like that. Man. Everybody thought Larry Cohen was wacko when he wrote this script, but it's been imitated like crazy. Demon Seed with Julie Christie, The Beast Within, and towards the end of the movie Species, the alien gives birth and Forrest Whitaker's in the sewer system hunting the alien baby with a rifle, just like the one that John Ryan has in It's Alive, and the dialogue is almost verbatim. Anyhow, we do have a sequel coming up, but first I want to remind you that next week, Halloween, by the way, is the first annual Joe Bob Briggs Dusk to Dawn Friday the 13th Marathon. It starts at 8 o'clock, so don't tune in at 10:30 and expect me to start it over, you hear me? We're showing parts 1 through 6 of the classic Friday the 13th series, and yours truly will be staying up all night to escort those of you nutsoid enough to stay up with me. And in keeping with the spirit of the holiday, I will be accomplishing this all-nighter without the aid of artificial stimulants of any kind. What? That's not artificial. That comes from natural earth products. Yeah. Okay, let's watch part 2 now. It Lives Again. Another suburban woman is about to give birth to a mutant monster, and it's not a pretty sight. Here are those drive-in totals. We have 9 dead bodies, 1 dead snake, multiple neck chomping, face eating, bloody fingernail chewing, 1 motor vehicle chase, kung fu, infant foo, 4 stars. Check it out, and we will be here. There are 3 It's Alive films, actually, all made by the great Larry Cohen, who thinks horribly deformed angry babies are kind of funny. My kind of guy.
Back to Joe Bob's last call, and it lives again on TNT.
You know the great thing about all Larry Cohen movies? You can be surfing through cable and come across a Larry Cohen movie right in the middle and not know anything about it, and in 20 seconds you go, it's Larry! He has this style all his own. It's not like anybody else. He has that super sharp photography, always some quirky New York characters. He's from New York. Great scenes. He writes dialogue better than anybody in the business. And, okay, all right. Anybody who just watched the first movie already has a big clue as to what's going on here in this one. That's because the creepy guy, Frank Davis, who sits there on the couch at the baby shower and annoys everybody, he was the star of the first movie, the man who wounds his own monster baby and then tries to get forgiveness from it. So here he is, the same actor, John P. Ryan, and it's kind of a tip-off that he knows things. But now, is he good? Or is he evil? That's what we'll find out as It Lives Again continues. Lots of people call their baby it. Every woman's nightmare, right? There's something wrong with your baby. It's a mutating fetus. We'll need armed men in the delivery room. Larry Cohen is really, really sick, isn't he?
Back to Joe Bob's last call, and it lives again on TNT.
A rampaging mutant killer baby is on the loose, and so this seems like a good time to pause for Joe Bob's Jailbreak, our weekly visit with our most loyal and captive audience, the inmates of America's prisons. And to help us out, here she is, Miss Super Rika Taco 1998, the TNT mail girl, Rusty. You think you'll ever have a kid, Rusty?
Someday I hope to.
Well, you know, it's widely believed that people from Texas have high sperm counts. We're virile.
Yes, those people in East Texas have high sperm counts.
I'm from East Texas.
The ones that marry their cousins over and over again.
Are you implying about East Texas that the old genealogy tree might be a little stunted here?
Well, I'm implying that there are people who have babies like the one in this movie. And 18 years later, the baby has a high school diploma and a trailer house.
But you're not from East Texas.
No.
So there's no danger of our being cousins, right?
No.
Plus you get that cross-fertilization thing going. Where are you from?
West Texas.
Okay, there you go. What could be more different than East Texas and West Texas?
South Texas.
South Texas? You want to marry a Mexican?
Hey, sure, cross-fertilization.
Well, in that case, why don't you just get on a bus and go find a husband in God knows Louisiana?
Why don't we read this letter?
That's dangerous, though, marrying out of state like that.
This is from Daryl Parks of the Neal Unit of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice in Amarillo.
Okay. Dear Mr. Briggs, polite man. You and he would get along. I'm currently incarcerated, and my question is this. Why do they always say incarcerated? Why don't they ever say I'm in jail? I'm currently incarcerated, and my question is this. In the 1990s, why are there so many women afraid to have any type of relationship with a strong man that's incarcerated? And what fear do they have of having a distance relationship with a possibility of a future? And if you know any women that are interested in a man that is incarcerated and willing to take interest in a lonely inmate in search for a good man or good friendship, please give my address to them. I'm 5'11", 175-pound black male, 29 years old, never been married, native of Dallas, Texas, smart and lonely. Mr. Daryl Parks, number 714958 in the Amarillo, Texas unit there. Well, Daryl, I don't know how to tell you this, but probably the main reason that women don't want to start up a relationship with you is that you're in prison. That would be number one. You know, it's kind of hard to go to Neiman Marcus and pick out carpets while you're being cavity searched with a rubber glove. You know what I mean? But Rusty, what's your opinion? Would you ever be interested in a relationship with an incarcerated individual?
Oh, probably not.
Not too exciting, is it?
I do have a girlfriend who might do it, though.
Got a little spare time on her hands or something? What does she look like? Don't say she has a good personality.
She's petite and kind of quiet.
Okay, deaf midget. All right.
No, she's a nice woman who might like a pen pal.
But she's not very attractive.
You know, this guy did not even mention looks. He asked if you knew any women who were looking for a good friendship. Looks aren't everything, Joe Bob.
She's butt ugly, Daryl. But maybe there's somebody else watching tonight who will write to you. Okay, let's do the stats. Texas Department of Criminal Justice Neal Unit opened in 1995. It's located in Amarillo, Texas. 462 male inmates, minimum and medium security. We hadn't gotten any letters from maximum security lately. Don't those guys have cable? Probably not. Anyhow, the warden at the Neal Unit is named Wilhelmina. Maybe Wilhelmina's got some friends, you know? Special programs there include rational behavior training.
I might use that.
I don't know why that makes me laugh so much. Rational behavior training. You know, why can't I... Great. Anyway. Well, anyway, I think Larry Cohen may have his next movie idea here. Educational programs there include GED, ESL, landscape design, construction, maintenance, painting, and decorating. And I don't even want to know who's enrolled in those last two, decorating, and painting. Daryl, get your hiney out of there. Free your mind and your butt will follow. And so maybe your friend is looking for a sperm donor, huh?
She just might be.
I think I'll pass on that. You know that guy in L.A. who killed his parents and got sentenced to life in prison, but all the girls thought he was cute? Who's that?
Lyle Menendez?
Lyle Menendez. He married a Playboy playmate in prison, and then he cheated on her with another Playboy playmate. He put a letter in the wrong envelope and sent it to his wife instead of this other playmate that he was writing to, which just goes to show that even in prison, monogamy is impossible. I mean, if that guy can't do it with a Playboy playmate in prison, who can do it?
Do you want me to answer that?
No, not really. I'm still thinking about rational behavior training, because, you know, why can't I kill that guy? Well, that wouldn't be rational, would it?
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call, and it lives again on TNT.
The babies are restless, and that's Andrew Duggan as Dr. Perry, the scientist who says, "You behave yourself or I won't let you out." Why do I think this method is not going to work? Anyhow, he was in the first movie, too, and that's Frederick Forrest as the harried father, chain smoking, which further agitates the babies, of course. Frederick Forrest is one of those actors who's always been right on the brink of being really famous. He's probably best known for Hammett in 1983, but he was nominated for an Oscar in 1979 for The Rose. And I think he looks a little too goofy to be a leading man, but not goofy enough to be a character actor. He's an in-betweener, native of Waxahachie, Texas. which we all know and love as a very historic Texas town and the place you stop for moon pies on the way to Waco. Okay, back to the movie. People like it when I give out their hometowns, you know? Yeah. I don't know why, really. They say, I used to not like that guy, but then I found out he's from here. They're always proud that he grew up there. So why wouldn't they be ashamed that one day he left? You know, he said, you know what, I'm getting out of this place. They forget that part.
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call, and it lives again on TNT.
You know, I forgot to mention, the guy who plays Dr. Forrest, that's an actor named Eddie Constantine, making a rare appearance in an English language film. Eddie Constantine was born in L.A., but he went to Paris and became a famous singer under the tutelage of Edith Piaf. And then he starred in a whole slew of French films as a tough guy, alcoholic American detective named L'Ami Caution. Now, these L'Ami Caution movies, to an American, are unwatchable. It's one of those things we don't understand. Only the French understand it. But he was a superstar over there, and he made movies in France and Germany for years and years. He was in the famous Godard film, Alphaville. He worked for Rainer Werner Fassbinder in Beware of a Holy Whore. He was an artiste. And then he died about 5-6 years ago in Wiesbaden at the age of 76. Why am I talking about this guy? Madame et Monsieur, les séances commencent. We used to say that back in my hometown. It means slop a little mustard on that weenie.
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call, and it lives again on TNT.
Well, we're a full hour into the movie before we get a tiny glimpse of the mutant baby. Those baby monsters were created by legendary special effects makeup guy Rick Baker, which we covered tonight for those of you who showed up on time for the first movie. But I think the babies are actually scarier when they're off camera, when we just hear those disgusting chomping noises and snorting, and we see the faces on the grown-ups. And the head bad guy, by the way, the one who knows that the only thing to do is pump thousands of rounds into the little toddlers, he's played by the late John Marley, a character actor. He's probably best known as the movie executive in The Godfather, and he also was nominated for the Academy Award as Ollie McGraw's father in Love Story. You ever listen to a baby when they're making those eating noises, though? Cute little gurgles and burps and grunts, and then they spit up right directly in your face. See, this might be a horror movie, but there's some psychological reality behind it, you know? You know, a lot of people write me and say, hey, Joe Bob Briggs, just what is Monstervision? You don't need no special glasses or an insect's head, just a healthy love for slime and disrespect for the dead. We'll talk about some movies by the old double wide, and when you get that creepy feeling creeping up inside, well, then you got Monstervision. It's a heck of a fright. We're tearing the heart out of Saturday nights. These Monstervision movies serve a primitive drive, 'cause watching people die can make you feel so alive. So throw away your clicker now, the flicks have begun, 'cause there's nothing you can do while fully dressed that's as fun as watching ENT beneath the bug zapper light. We're tearing the heart out of Saturday night. Tearing the heart out of Saturday night.
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call, and it lives again on TNT.
And so the tables are turned and the parents are under siege, waiting for the mutant fruit of their loins to hunt them down and start chomping. Kathleen Lloyd plays the mom, and when this came out, she had just made her film debut in The Missouri Breaks. But she's best known as Carol Baldwin on the hit series Magnum P.I., and that's about all I'm going to say, because we do have one yard monster still out there, and it just ate the face off of the daddy from the first movie. So it's time for the conclusion of It Lives Again. And after this, TNT's got another one from the great Larry Cohen, Return to Salem's Lot. I really wish we were showing It's Alive 3, also known as Island of the Alive. which in some ways is even better than this one. In fact, in most ways, it's better than this one. Of course, I realize that's like comparing Texas champagnes, right? But there are some gradations of quality here, you know? I'll shut up.
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call, and it lives again on TNT.
And so Frederick Forrest stands on the streets of San Francisco trying to educate the next generation of mutant baby parents. And Larry Cohen had it all set up for another sequel, which he did eventually make, but we'll save that for another time. Okay, I want to remind you that next week is the first annual Joe Bob Briggs Dusk to Dawn Friday the 13th Marathon, which ends at approximately 6 in the morning. So all you people who are awake right now, I'll expect you to be here with me then for the duration. And it starts at 8 o'clock, and it's over at 6 o'clock. And that is Halloween night. But we don't want to call it the Halloween Marathon. I was afraid to mention that in the name of the show because it's a Friday the 13th marathon, not a Halloween marathon. I mean, it's on Halloween, so it is a Halloween marathon. But let me try this. Jason, yes. Michael Myers, no. All right? 8 p.m., be there. That's it for me, Joe Bob Briggs, reminding you that there is an exception to every rule, except this one. Hey, you guys know what Lucille Ball and Monica Lewinsky have in common? They both had sex with a Cuban. Joe Bob Briggs reminding you that the drive-in will never die. Hey, did you guys hear Clinton got a new computer? It has 6 inches of hard drive and no memory. What does Clinton say to interns as they leave his office? Don't hit your head on the desk. Did you hear about the Bill Clinton sale at clothing stores on President's Day? All pants half off. What does Bill say to Hillary after sex? I'll be home in 20 minutes.